All right. Shabbat Shalom, Yasharala. This great Millstone, Louisiana Saints, New Orleans camp, coming at you with another quick lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahweh
Bahashem,
Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Rakakadash.
Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. So, as you can see by the title, we're going to be discussing a lot of our people are still in this coon mind state. You know, we're in these last days. The Lord is raising us up to be a nation of kings and priests. And one thing about kings don't work for peasants. All right, kings uh, don't have a day job where they clock in and clock out. Kings don't look to the heathen for sustenance, for provision, for room and board, for clothing, for the one of all things. That's actually a curse, going back to Deuteronomy 28. So, you know, we were discussing a clip that the brother shared with us, Jake, that's in a complete, the absolute wrong spirit to be in if you're an Israelite man. Let me see if I can share the screen real quick. And 1 second. Yeah.
In heaven, Charles. No strikes. Something you hope you can get a brand new one off anytime you want.
A job, Steve.
Wait. I done went to heaven so I can work. new job.
Come on, Jake.
Oh, man.
So, as brothers were saying before we went live, man, if Steve Harvey looking at you like you a coon, you definitely a coon. You done went way too far. Like that's man. But
He was serious, but he said, a job? Like, he's
yeah,
serious. Like, I gotta work in the, I gotta do something.
yeah,
Come
we
on,
got to
Jake.
start with Jeremiah 2:14. That's
Yeah,
this is the lowest state of our people, man.
I'm,
We went from ruling over the heathen to not only wanting to work for the heathen, but even in our minds in heaven. When I die and go to heaven, because you know Jake thinks heaven is someplace in the sky, or heaven is going to be on earth. Heaven is the 12 tribes of Israel. You people of so-called Negro and Native Indian descent ruling over the heathen on earth. All right, but this is the mind state our people are in. Got that, Jeremiah?
yeah, I got it. This is Jeremiah 2:14. It says, "Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?"
Yeah. Why is he spoiled? Because he wants to worship the heathen. He wants to be like the heathen. We didn't destroy the idols of the heathen, so the Most High punished us by putting us underneath the heathen, and this is the end result. Jake talking about when he gets to heaven, he wants to have a job, a new job. Like that's the mind state of our people. Like I want to, you know, not only have a job but have a part-time hustle, rise and grind. This idea that the harder you work for the heathen, the more of a man you are. Our people are in a complete perverse spirit right now. Yeah, you got something, Gabar?
I was gonna say when I was watching that video, I was just thinking, man, Jake had to been in reincarnation of one of those Jakes that got out of Egypt, talking about like, man, we was eating good in Egypt.
Yeah,
Since he sent us out of Egypt,
Oh,
like
yeah. That's a beautiful point because our people, we were delivered from bondage, and the majority of our people wanted to go back.
yeah,
They didn't want to be sovereign. They didn't want to have a control over their own destiny. They were more comfortable having the Egyptians tell us what to do, taskmasters putting burdens on us. Our people like slavery, man. Two-thirds of our
yeah.
people, they don't feel right unless a heathen is telling them what to do. It's disgusting, man. You want to say something, Kayo?
I'm gonna get this pretty here because this is why we're in that state of being we we looked at as being a homeboy slave. This Baruch chapter 3 and verse 12. Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom, for if thou hadst walked in the way of the Most High, thou shouldest have dwelled in peace forever. And like I said, if we had not left the Lord, then we wouldn't be working. You know,
Yeah, God. That's the reason we got in this situation in the first place. And our people they don't like being Israelites, man. When you tell them what an Israelite is, which Yasharallah in the Hebrew, Yah is he, Shar is prince, Allah is power or God. When you tell them you're a prince of God, that they think, okay, that comes with responsibilities. A God doesn't eat pork. A God doesn't commit adultery. A God isn't a nigga. Our people want to be niggas, man, because a nigga can eat whatever, sleep with whoever, just be an animal as long as he answers to Esau. So they rather answer to Esau than answer to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because they don't want the responsibility of being an Israelite.
And that's a beautiful point you made, because is when you tell our people, who we are, we Israelites, you the sons of God, you the chosen people, they like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, it sounds good. But like you said, when you get into, there's a certain expectation of us, a certain way or certain walk that the Lord expects of us that is higher than these heathen. No, that's too much there.
yeah,
That's no fun, as they
yeah,
say.
yeah. That's the key point. Above the heathen. Jake doesn't want to be above even when we go out to the highways and hedges, Jake come up. Their first thing is the white man can't be saved. What about the white man? The idea of being over the heathen is vexing to them because they're coons. They can't envision themselves rulership. It's too much for them.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, like, when they protest, they don't protest like be over them. They protest equality.
Yeah,
Like,
who does that, man?
gee,
What man tries to be equal with his enemy, especially someone that's clearly inferior to you? This man is beneath you intellectually, physically, spiritually, in every way imaginable, but you want to be equal to him. That's madness. Brother can get we can get a count in the scriptures of just the mind state that a lot of our people are in. You can get, matter of fact, we could start with Psalms 62 and 10, because this is really the ultimate core mind state of a coon. They actually look at actually the brother can get Isaiah 30 also. Our people look to Esau and they trust in oppression. They don't trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They don't trust in his name. They don't trust in the law, statutes, and commandments. They don't trust in the prophecies. They trust in America.
I got that song.
Okay, I had it too. You got it.
It's Psalm 62 verse 10. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them.
Right. The scripture says, "Trust not in oppression." That's a plain, straightforward precept. That's a commandment from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You're not supposed to trust in oppression, because the people that are oppressing you are heathen, and they were set up to reprove our people for a temporary point in time. They weren't set up to rule. They're not fit to rule. They're not the actual rightful rulers of the earth. It tells you in Job 9 and 24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. That's a temporary state, man. The wicked is not supposed to. Why would the Most High create the earth to be paradise and then allow the wicked to rule forever? The wicked were put in charge for a specific purpose, to fulfill prophecy and to humble us so we could come back and repent to the Father. And after that happens, we're about to get out of here. We're going to rule. The righteous are going to rule in the kingdom of heaven. And we're not going to have jobs. You're not going to have a day job answering to a heathen. That's total madness.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Isaiah, 30?
Yeah, I got that.
Start You start at the top.
This is Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
Right. And it says, our people take counsel, but not of Yahweh. They take counsel of the heathen, so that what? So that they can add sin to sin. All right, it tells you in John the 3rd chapter that these people don't come into the light because the light reproves their evil deeds. So they would rather stay continuing in evil than to actually serve the Lord. That's how bugged out they are, man. Keep going.
Verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Right. And that Egypt is talking about Babylon the Great. It's talking about America. It's not talking about ancient Egypt. This is a future prophecy. And really, we're living it out every day. We see every single day our people look to strengthen Esau. They try to strengthen America. They look at the American economy going down as a bad thing, as if it's your economy. It's not your house. We're inside another man's house. All right. The word economy means management of the house. Whose house is this? It's the house of the wicked. Babylon is not the house of the 12 tribes of Israel, man. It's not the house of David. So when you see the house of the wicked going down, you're supposed to rejoice because that means our captivity is at an end. But our people don't see it that way. I read verse 3, Babu Shah.
Come on. Verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Right. The trust in the shadow of Babylon the Great is your confusion. You can see all of our people that are coons. They're confused right now. They went super hard to get Joe Biden in office, and now that this man is like the biggest joke on the planet Earth, our people are confused. They don't know what's going on, man.
Literally don't nobody take that man
Yeah,
seriously.
nobody takes Joe Biden seriously, and our people, especially our women, they went super hard to get that dude in office. Now that he's in office, it's like all of a sudden, nobody voted for Biden. Nobody knows nothing. Nah, man, you went with your move. You trusted in Egypt. You trusted in the shadow of Egypt, and that's your confusion. Read verse 3 again, Baba Kucha.
Come on. Isaiah 30 and 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion.
Yeah, and that's your shame. You believe in America. You believe in Esau. You believe in the American dollar. You believe in the American government, and that's your shame right now. That's your confusion because the Most High is breaking this place up. And if you're joined unto this place spiritually, you look like a fool right now. That's your shame and confusion. And really, man, the Lord's making us look better and better as the prophecies come to pass. There was a time when you would talk about World War III, you would look crazy. You would talk about the chariots, so-called UFOs, you would look crazy. You talk about race wars, you would look crazy. You talk about us being the chosen people, you would look crazy. Now everything we've been prophesying and teaching for years, it's obvious that we've been right all along. And everything that these people believe in the world, it's become more and more obvious that they're wrong. They're just bugged out. So the Lord is making a separation between the true Israelites, the true sons of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and these coons. These coons look horrible, man. Yeah, if y'all had anything.
I got one. It's Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
None of his ways. You got it, all right.
And that's one of the reasons why we in that state of mind, because they look at what our oppressor has, and they look at what they have obtained in their kingdom, but forget the fact that the Lord gave them this. He raised up one and put it down another. It's all in the Lord's hands, but they look to them and look at what all they have and envy and want that, and not want what the Lord has set for us. He said that He has a kingdom for us, that we'll be in peace, we'll dwell in safety. He wants to literally give us the world, but we don't. But our people don't want it. They want to work. They want to
Yeah.
work for the oppressor, because that he makes it look like that they've accomplished and achieved so much when they really haven't.
Yeah. And this real quick to back up what you just said. You can break it down. This Psalm 73, verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked.
God, it's like you said, it's straight to the point. They was envious of it, and it's foolish. Like I said, they look at like the prosperity, or their achievements, or the amount of money that they make, and they like, man, that's what I want. While we live in, as you would say, lowly or basic lives, but not understanding the fact that our treasures are stored up in heaven. We have a kingdom to come.
Yeah. Our kingdom is based on faith, though, because all you can see in this world is Esau ruling. So if you don't have faith in the Most High, by default, your faith is in Esau, Edom, and his wicked setup going.
Yeah.
But this verse 17 in Psalm 73, it says, "Until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I their end." Yeah. So Yeah, once you come into the sanctuary, once you come into this truth, then you understand the end of Esau, Edom. You understand the end of Babylon the Great. You understand the end that Jacob is the end of the world. And what does that mean? I mean, so like Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So, you come into the truth. Okay, Esau is the end of the world. Why would I look up to this guy? He's a damn devil.
Yeah. And to me, it really should be a no-brainer. There's an end to Esau's kingdom, and there is no end to Jacob's kingdom.
God. Yeah. Going back to Genesis 27, Jacob and Esau were both promised the fatness of the earth. We were both promised rulership. One of us was promised to take the world by sword, by violence, and rule in wickedness. And the other was promised to, like the brother just said, to rule for everlasting life, man, in the kingdom. Which means what? We're going to rule in righteousness, not wickedness. So why would you envy Esau? You had one, Kabar? You look like you holding something.
Yeah.
Oh, Bayan got one?
Yeah. This is Psalms 146, and I'm gonna start at 3. Put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. His breath goeth forth; he returneth to his earth. In that very day, his thoughts perish. Happy is he that had the power of Jacob for his help, whose hope is in the Lord Yahweh, his power.
God, you got it up.
That's pretty much plain, man. Why the fuck would you want to work in our kingdom? Come on, man. From Esau, what he taught you was how you're supposed to live. And come on, that was one of the most mind-blowing things that I've seen in a minute of somebody talking about, man, I want to work when I get to heaven. Like you got to be probably the first person to ever say that. Like, come on, Jake, you wild.
Nah, you'd be surprised. Jake really on that type of time. I remember a few years ago telling the brother, you had the elder out in Mississippi. He had Jake leave a comment on his page saying, if Esau is going to be in slavery in the kingdom, how are we going to get jobs?
Oh.
He said that, man. This is a guy that knows he's Israelite. He asked a brother on the Israelite page, how are we going to get jobs in the kingdom, man? Just Jake cannot think outside of this box that Esau created and put us in, man.
So yeah, even one time, like somebody put a comment, boy, on y'all lesson saying like, are we gonna have phones in the kingdom?
Yeah. He was asking, are we gonna have iPhones in the kingdom? Like, Jake can't think past this, man. He can't see an everlasting kingdom that's righteous, with righteous technology that doesn't harm the earth. Jake really think we're gonna be in the kingdom with 5G towers, 6G towers. We're not gonna harm the environment. Everything's gonna be in the spirit, man. Everything's gonna. Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, even the video you just put out, it even said on there like in the heavens a car. Like,
yeah, it ain't gonna be no motor. Ain't gonna be no engines. Ain't gonna be we ain't gonna be changing oil on our chariots. No dumb
man.
like that, man.
You gotta dig into the earth and tear out. Come on, man. There's not gonna be an oil industry in the kingdom of heaven, man. Everything's gonna be clean. The earth is gonna rejoice when the Israelites are in power. It's not gonna be this wicked, defiled kingdom with all these industries that destroy the earth, that destroy the minds of children, that break down our bodies. You go to sleep next to your phone. Your phone is actually radiating your brain, your heart. You walk around with a phone in your pocket. Your sperm cells are just being destroyed. Like every aspect of the society is death. It's killing us every day. Everything you eat is defiled. All of the technology is harming you. It's harming your children. You have to get out of this. The kingdom is going to be just like America, but black people are going to be ruling instead of white people. Like, no, it's going to be a completely different setup, man, and it's going to be perfect.
And that's why he's the man of sin, and the wages of sin is death. So he's literally the man of death. Everywhere he goes, death follows.
He's as death, as it tells you in what was that, Isaiah? No, that's Habakkuk. Yeah. Let's get that, because he, like the brother said, this man, he's the man of death. So if he's ruling, you know, what does that mean? Death is going to follow him. Everything he produces is going to lead to corruption and just mortality. We were made to be eternal. We were made to enjoy the earth. We were made to live in paradise. This is supposed to be paradise, but our people would rather work for him, work for the damn devil, man, work for death.
Okay.
You got the Habakkuk?
I got it.
Con, it's
No, you got it, Kyle. You take it.
This Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 5 says, "Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people."
That's plain. He is as death. And you would rather work for a man who is as death than work for Yahushua, who's the truth, the way, and the life. So, I mean, it's plain you're not going to inherit the kingdom. If you, in your mind, you think Esau's way is better than the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the scriptures are, how people say, oh, that's the Old Testament. The so-called Old Testament, it contains not only the law, statutes, and commandments on how to deal with each other, but also how to deal with the environment. You have the land Sabbath. You have laws on how to farm, how to plant seeds, how to not mingle the seeds. The scriptures give you instructions on how to rule, how to govern the earth properly. Everything you need to know to be sovereign and to rule in righteousness. But our people look at that like, oh, that's the Old Testament. That's done away with. That's in the past. That's outdated. Righteousness is never outdated.
Yeah.
It's forever. Like,
And what kills me about that is when you look at the New Testament, for as far as with the apostles and John and all of them when they was on the scene and Yahushua himself, what were they reading from? They was reading from the Old Testament. That's what they were studying.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
what
can't.
they're
That's a
reporting.
stupid argument.
Yeah. Yeah, but coons are stupid, man. You got to be dumb to be a coon, especially in 2022. You worshiping a man who's fallen out of rulership completely. Like he's losing his power. He doesn't know what's going on. Joe Biden he doesn't know what day it is. But that's your hero. That's who you looking to save you. That's who you trust in.
What the other day he said when he had cancer or he has cancer and that blew up or whatever, and then they was like, oh, he meant to say that he had cancer, and the people like, come on, man, this is this your leader?
Yeah, is this your king? Joe Biden, man. Come on, man.
Hey, but Jake want to work for it. Jake literally wants to be under these people.
Yeah. The brother can get a Sirach 29 and start at 21. You have something, Kamara? You look like you.
I'm still holding it.
Oh, come. You got it?
It's a rock 20 verse 29. Presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. And their eyes, where it say eyes of the wise represents these jigs out here. Because they, according to Deuteronomy 4 verse 6, this great nation, which the Israelites, we are made understanding and wise people. So that wise represents these jigs out here. But it say right here, it say present and gifts blind them. And what are these presents and gifts? It's American lifestyle. It's American dream. All right. And say, and also say, stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. So no matter what Esau do unto them, Jake still love this Edomites, man. Like it's even to they like some Jake don't believe they in slavery at this point. Like
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like we come across that every week. You try to tell Jake they in slavery, they're like, I ain't in slavery. I got a job. I got 2 jobs. My wife got a job. A nigga told me, this is a nigga I used to work with. He has a job. The job I was working with was his second job, and his wife got a job. He was trying to tell me that we're not in slavery because he has 2 streams of income and his wife works. Kings, listen, man. When you're in rulership, your wife doesn't work, Jake. Your wife is at home taking care of your children, being obedient and serving you. All right. A king has servants. That's another thing. Jake doesn't accept that people are supposed to serve him. The kings have servants, Jake. These pro-black conscious niggas. They call themselves king, peace king, peace king. Like what? Nobody's bowing down to you. Nobody serves you. What are you talking about, man? Jake bugged out.
And deep down, they don't even want that though. Like they may
Yeah,
act like they want to be on top and all that, but if it really came down to it, we was given that authority and rulership. Nah, man, you can't have them people doing. You gotta, like,
yeah.
man, fuck all that. These people are supposed to be under us.
God,
Period. Point blank. That's it. That is their role. Our role is to serve Yahweh Shema Shai. Their role is to serve us.
plain. But Jake don't want that, man. Like you said, if the Most High was to snap his fingers right now and bring us in the kingdom, 2/3 of our people would be fighting us. Like you can't treat the white lady like that. You
Yeah.
can't treat that white man. That don't make you no better than them. Look what they did us. We can't do the same thing to them. Yes, we can.
Yeah.
It's called recompense. It's called judgment. It's called balancing the scales, man.
Yeah.
We are going to do unto them what they did unto us, and double. It's going to be worse. Jake can't get his mind around that, man. Jake don't really, like the brother said, Jake really don't want to rule. Jake want to call himself a king, wear a bunch of gold, and talk about all the women he has, but he doesn't want to rule over the heathen. That's like vexing to a nigga, man. Like I can't hurt Billy, Tommy, Brad. I can't do that. What did they do to me? They ruled over you for 500 plus years in this captivity, then going back to Greece and Rome. What do you mean? What did they do to you? What are you talking about, man?
Just only reason why, because they like the scripture I just brought out. These president gifts are blind. Like they're so blind by these president gifts. Let's represent. We saw pushes in America, man.
Yeah. Which is perfect.
And a nigga easily blind. A nigga can be easily blinded with a $50,000 a year job. And really ain't shit.
Yeah.
Like you just
30, Jake. 30,000.
like all you is just a rich man, rich as a slave in the plantation, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that includes these celebrities too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and these niggas have no power, man. You got these celebrity Jakes, Michael Jordan, Will Smith, Jay-Z. They have millions. Some of them have hundreds of millions of dollars, and they still have no power.
Yep.
They still have a so-called like a hunchback counterfeit Jew controlling them, telling them what to do, telling them how to dress, telling them where they need to speak on this issue, don't speak on that issue. But you're supposed to be a multi-millionaire, but you got another man telling you what to do, man.
Yeah.
You mind if I get an account for you, Art?
Con, you got it.
Con. Just backing up everything that we're saying right now. Our people, for some reason, they love somebody to rule over them. They want another man to rule over them and tell them what to do. And I'm gonna get this account in the book of Samuel. This is 1 Samuel 8, and I'm gonna start at 4. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods. So do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit, yet protest solemnly unto them and show them the manner of the king that should reign over them. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked him of a king. And he said, This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen. And some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over 50s, and will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest and to make instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries and to be cooks, and to be bakers. And he will take your field and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards and give to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you. And the Lord Yahweh will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, Nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all these words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Lord Yahweh.
Yeah, read that last verse again. After nevertheless.
Come on. 1 Samuel 8:19. It says, nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, Nay, but we will have a king over us.
Yeah, they just want to be like the heathen, man.
Yep.
Like, we don't want to rule according to the law, statutes, and commandments. We want to have like one person that's going to rule over us on some Edomite shit, not according to the scriptures. Okay, Yahweh, King David, actual righteous, kingship, because we're a nation of kings and priests. So we're supposed to rule in order, every man in his own order. We're all supposed to be kings and priests, but like we went into earlier, that comes with responsibility. If you're a king and I'm a king, this brother over here is a king, all the brothers on the screen, if we're all kings and we all have dominion over our household, over our slaves, we have to deal amongst each other as kings. But if we're all just niggas, employees, and Esau's in power, I don't have to respect you as a king because I don't respect myself as a king. I don't have to treat you like you're royalty because I don't see myself as being royal. That's the mind state of a coon. Coons just look at, okay, these are some niggas because I'm a nigga. If you look like me and I don't respect me, then I can't respect you. But if we're a nation of kings and priests, I got to deal with you the same way I want to be dealt with. Jake don't want to do that though, man. That's why he wants to, like, he doesn't realize this, but subconsciously he wants Esau to stay in power so he can stay being a nigga and treating his brother like a nigga. Man, Jake just loves black culture, man.
Yep.
Which is death.
I want to say, notice in that account, you kept saying that he will take these and do certain things with whatever he's taking, meaning that that's a selfish king. Because any time that you're doing something that's outside of how the Lord set things up, you're doing it for your own, your own embetterment or your own flesh, or you're trying to fill your own belly. So thus, that makes you selfish. Let me get this here. This Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 16 says, Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. And most children, especially, you got to teach them to share, or you got to teach them the right ways, because they innately, this is mine, I want to do whatever I want to do with it, and take from you or whatever. And that's what he was doing, because he was doing these things to really fill his own belly. He wasn't doing it to please the Lord when King Saul was set up, after that point. But you got that.
God, yeah, it tells you in our law that you're not supposed to multiply wives and chariots. That doesn't mean you're not supposed to have more than one wife or more than one vehicle. That means you're not supposed to multiply it unto yourself and take away from the people to just aggrandize yourself while everybody else is living lowly. That's the way of an Edomite. That's how these Rothschilds rule. That's how these Rockefellers rule. They want to hoard all the riches and make everybody poor. They've turned the earth into a damn ghetto, man.
Yep.
So why would you want to work for somebody like that? I could see if you wanted to stay in slavery underneath a righteous king. That's in our law too. When you read what is it, Deuteronomy 21, if you have a wife in slavery and you have a family in slavery and you love your master, you could stay working for your master.
Yep.
Which I think that's in Exodus 5. Let me look for it real quick. I don't want to butcher it, but you got it out. Gabar, you had something?
Nah, I ain't got nothing.
Okay. Yes, Exodus 21, not Deuteronomy 21. Salaki. I'll read it real quick. This Exodus 21 verse. I'll start at verse 2. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve thee, and in the seventh he shall go out for free for nothing. So we had a custom in our law where you could sell yourself into slavery, which is not like chattel slavery. It's like a job basically. You if you get into debt and you want to pay off your debt, you could pledge to work for someone, another Israelite, for 7 years or longer. It says,
Might I add something real quick?
yeah,
Uh, with slavery is like a buzzword nowadays because, like you said, I like chattel slavery because when you say the word slavery, people automatically think about Esau, Edom, the Edomite slavery of how
yeah,
we did our people. When, like you said, that's bond men or bond women or servants. That's not what it's talking about. But you got it.
gone. Yes. The slavery, according to the scriptures, is like a job. It's like a indentured servitude. You work for somebody, you live with them. It's like a personal assistant or someone that that you work for. It's an employee. It says, if thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve thee, and in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. So if you start a job and you have a wife and you come in, you leave the situation with whatever you brought with you. But it says, if his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. So if you come in with nothing, and your employer gives you a wife, and you have a family, that family belongs to the household. You can't go out with your family because you didn't come in with your family. But it says this, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. So you could decide to stay living with your master if you enjoy your family, and that involves someone that's taking care of you. That's not someone that's ruling over you with rigor. Someone that's just beating you for no reason, just being a complete tyrant. If you would rather stay with your family and work for your boss than leave, that's your choice. But Jake wants to stay working for someone that doesn't care about him at all. Esau didn't give you a family. He didn't give you a name. He didn't give you anything, man. He just uses you and abuses you. And then when he gets tired, he'll throw you away. Y'all saw that video of Jake. He was working at, what is it, Burger King for 27 years?
Yeah.
Give him a goodie bag.
Candy boy.
Esau gave him a bag of trinkets, man, for working. He worked 27 years without missing a day. He didn't call off for 27 years, man. They gave him a bag with junk in it, man.
And look, and then look, what he gave him, that junk is gonna kill you.
Yeah,
It ain't good for you.
madness. But this is who Jake wants to work for. This is who Jake wants to slave for in heaven. Jake want to work for Esau in heaven, man.
Even they gifts are harmful.
Yeah, they're gifts of death. Here's a gift, death. They hand you death in a bag, a bunch of high fructose corn syrup snacks, contaminated, radiated plastic technology, man. Everything this man does is death. You have to put off the ways of Esau, man. In order to really understand the kingdom of heaven, you got to be conformed to the scriptures, not conform to this world.
Oh.
Madness. But someone got the Sirach?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
You said 30 and 21?
29 and 21.
29 and 21. Okay. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29, verse 21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame.
Right. The chief things that you need to survive, you need water, you need bread, food to sustain yourself, You need clothing and shelter, man. Food, clothing, and shelter, man. That's what you need to sustain yourself. Keep going.
Verse 22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house.
Right. And that word mean means average. So better is the life of a poor man in an average house than delicate fare in another man's cottage. So right now we're in another man's house. We're in Esau's house, and you have certain Jakes that have, they have delicate lives. They've been given gifts, and so they pervert judgment. They're bugged out of their minds. They're sellouts. They don't have any integrity because they're living delicately in another man's house. But the scripture says, read that again, verse 22.
Verse 22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house.
Right. So it's better to have your own setup. Even if it's a so-called average house, it's better to be your own man and stand on your own two in your own house than to be delicate in another man's cottage, man. Having another man rule over you, having a heathen tell you what to do. And so much so that you can't even fathom a world without that. You even in the afterlife, even in so-called heaven, you're still working for Esau, man. Like the brother said in the chat, Esau did a number on him, man. Esau is a perfect devil. It takes years of psychological manipulation and propaganda to take an Israelite and have him think, okay, when I die, I need to work for the white man, even after I die.
Damn.
That's a a psychological operation that this man is a perfect devil.
Yeah.
He did that, man. Esau did his thing, but he's got to pay for that. And all of our people that have a problem with it, hey, hey. Matter of fact, if a brother could get Luke 19 and 27, because we're only supposed to be ruled over by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So if you have a problem ruling over the heathen, or you want a heathen to rule over you, this is what's going to happen to you.
All right, this Luke 19 and 27 says, "But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me."
Right, and this is Yahweh Shai speaking. This is the true ruler of the earth. This is supposed to be who rules over you, not Esau. In the kingdom of heaven, Yahweh Shai is going to rule over us, and we're going to rule over the heathen. And it says, if you have a problem with Yahweh Shai ruling over you, read that again.
"But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me."
Let me get this word slay in the Greek. Yep, it's kataspazo, which kata means beyond or above, and spazo means to slaughter utterly. So it's basically you swinging downward. I think in the Spanish Bible it's decapiteo. All right, Yahweh Shai is going to command his servants to decapitate wicked niggas that don't want to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, niggas that want to keep Esau's kingdom going. All right, because after World War III, you're still going to have rebellious Israelites that are not in Babylon the Great. This whole land is going to be destroyed by ICBM nuclear missiles, but you have a lot of jakes all over the world. Some of them are going to be righteous, and a lot of them are going to be wicked, and they're going to be purged, man. They're going to be destroyed. And the nigga from that video, which he's going to die here in America, but you have a lot of people in that mind state that they're not fit to rule. They're not gonna be cool with us rounding up the heathen and restoring order on the earth. They're gonna buck up. They're gonna have a soft spot for the heathen. So this is gonna happen to them, man. Read it again. This is plain judgment for coons.
All right, this Luke 19:27. "But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me."
Slay them before me. So you have a lot of Israelites that are going to be put to death in the presence of the Lamb. You don't want to take part in that, man. You want to cleanse your mind of anything that's keeping you attached to this world, and attach yourself to the spiritual. Attach yourself to the world to come. But if you can get a matter of fact, if y'all had anything else,
I got another one to back that up too. This in Isaiah the 60th chapter, and when you go into that chapter, it's kind of going into the riches and the things of the kingdom.
okay.
Isaiah 60:12, "For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish; yea, those nations shall utterly be wasted." And that just to back that up too.
Yeah, that's plain, man. Like we're gonna be at the top, the heathen are gonna be at the bottom. We're not gonna work for the heathen. That's nowhere in prophecy is an Israelite gonna be clocking in, and it's 9 o'clock. I'm reporting for duty, sir. Hey Esau, we're not gonna have paychecks in the kingdom. You're not gonna have direct deposit. You're not gonna have to ask a heathen for a raise. If you want more from the heathen, you tell them to do more. They're gonna have to do it, or else. Matter of fact, let's get that.
Jake got to get used to that.
Yeah.
The heathen will be under you. They will be subservient. You will rule over them. This is. Get used to that concept.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kabar.
You got it, Kabar.
I was gonna say, man, Jake worrying about a job in the kingdom, bro. We about to be kings, man. Kings on the earth, bro. Like even the planets, like we about to, and like far as Esau, man, everybody rule all of him, man. He
Yeah.
worrying about working for him in the it's madness.
Madness. It just shows you like how far gone our people's minds are, man.
Yes.
Like this is like try explaining this. Just imagine if it was like 5,000 years ago, you trying to explain to an Israelite, the Lord is going to bring us so low that Jake is going to ask for a job in heaven. That would be a joke. It's a joke to us now because we're in our right mind. We're going to be laughing about this in the kingdom, but really, a lot of our people think this way, man.
They think they're free. On top
Yeah, yeah. They think
And
freedom is
that's the
having a
worst
job.
type of that's the worst type of slave too. A slave that don't even know that he's in slavery. A slave that thinks he's free but is actually a slave.
Yeah, which that's what Esau does, man. He enslaved his own people. You know, the so-called Emancipation Proclamation, which the word emancipate means transfer of power. He transferred us from the private property of the slave owners to being property of the bankers. He didn't free anybody. He enslaved his own people. His own people go to work and pay taxes, man. Taxes are supposed to be tribute. You pay tribute when you lose a war. All right. We're supposed to pay, how should I say? Give unto Caesar what's his. Esau's face is on the money. So we're supposed to, in our condition right now, we're supposed to pay taxes. Edomites aren't supposed to pay taxes, man. You got enslaved by your own people. You bugged out.
This going to back that up. Sirach chapter 14 verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
Yeah.
He shall not take pleasure in his goods. So like you said, he enslaved his own people. So you can't expect him to really do anything good for you, Jake.
Yeah.
Shit, he don't even give a damn about his own people.
Yeah. How's somebody who enslaved his own people going to free you? He's not even freeing his own so-called middle class. He destroyed the so-called middle class was just completely wiped out meticulously by the elites. And these are the people you're looking to save you and free you. He doesn't care about his own people, man. Just in the kingdom, no Israelite is going to be in slavery. No Israelite is going to pay taxes. No Israelite is going to be have to go into debt to get an education. No Israelite is going to be like every Israelite is going to be good. You worshiping a man that destroyed his own people just for a little bit more of like, come on, man. This man's a dirty, just a like you read in Habakkuk. He's as death and can't have enough. He can't be satisfied. I got the whole world, but I want to put a chip in everybody. That's who you want to serve, man. Bayan, if you can give me Revelation 2 and you start at 25.
I get the scripture right quick.
You got it out.
Guys, Proverbs 21 verse 10. The soul of the wicked desire evil. His neighbor findeth no favor in his eyes.
Yeah, his neighbor. You got it.
So yeah, that's simple. That's just backing up what y'all saying. Hey man, this Esau ain't got no love for nobody, man. You
know? At all. And like you said, how can he love you? To whom, how can he do good to you? He can't do good to himself.
Yeah, how can he make you straight?
Yeah.
Like how can he make it crooked straight?
But that's what Jake wants to work for, man.
And then on top of that, like you say, how can he love you when we know that love is the keeping of the commandments? So he can't keep them. It's literally not written in his program to do that. So he can't. It's impossible for Esau to love
Yeah.
you.
Esau is like fighting full-fledged to tell you that you're not an Israelite and that you can eat pork. It's okay for you to break the commandments. You got whole Edomite channels dedicated to telling you that you're African and you could eat pork. Now, to any righteous person, right? If you, like, for example, you have people that they believe that they're Israelites that don't look like so-called Negroes or Latinos. And in our mind, it's like, okay, if this person is being compelled by the Spirit, then let them be. They might be an Israelite that just doesn't look like an Israelite. It's still a good thing for them to wake up, worship the Lord, and keep the commandments. We don't push this idea like, look, you have to agree with us 100% and be in great millstone, or else the Lord's going to kill you. No, they have Israelites that look all. Any Israelite that wakes up and keeps the commandments is a good thing to us, but to these heathen, to see us not in a state of of that hip hop, black culture, eating pork, celebrating holidays, that vexes them. Just righteousness vexes them. That should alone let you know, okay, there's something wrong with this person. You have a problem with me claiming my Israelite heritage and keeping the commandments. Why do the commandments bother you so much?
Yeah.
Because you're wicked.
Yep.
But yeah, you got it out. The Revelation.
Yep. This is Revelation 2:25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And
power over the nations.
Come.
You can read 27.
Come. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father.
Right. So this is Yahushua in red letters telling his disciples that if you keep my works unto the end, you're going to have power over the nations. And this word power is Strong's G 1849. One of my favorite Greek words, man. Exousia. Exousia is the power of choice, the liberty of doing as one pleases, physical and mental power, the power of authority and right, privilege, the power of rule or government, the authority over mankind. A ruler, leading and more powerful among created beings, superior to man. So we're going to be gods on the earth, and we're going to have power over the nations, meaning whatever we want, that's what's going to happen. The nations, as the brother read in Isaiah 60, the nations that don't serve us are going to perish. So why in your mind would you think, okay, I'm going to work for the heathen? That's you're clearly, you have what do they call it, Stockholm syndrome. You've been in slavery so long, your mind is now like fixated on your slave master. You can't fathom anything outside of that. But the scriptures tell us we're going to rule them with a rod of iron. We're going to break them into pieces. If they ever even think about telling us no, it's going to be off with their head. Jay can't fathom having power like that, man.
Yeah, they've been in this captivity for far too long, because Esau is as death. Okay, he pushes out death, but then tells you out his mouth about love.
Yeah.
Okay, and that shows you the austerity of Yahushua, because the kingdom, it ain't gonna be no nonsense, especially for these heathens. All that bullshit with other gods and doing whatever you want to do. I got all these freedoms. No, it ain't gonna be like that. You're gonna have your freedom to serve the Lord. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, to back you up, it backs it up. Sirach 14 chapter. It said if they don't keep the feast days, it's gonna be punishment on these heathens, man.
Yeah, they got to serve us, man.
Yeah.
And you jakes that have a problem with it, you're not fit to enter the kingdom. You bugged out coons, you niggas on the job trying to get a promotion by throwing your brother under the bus, kissing Esau's backside all damn day. You're not fit to rule, man. You're not fit to rule a kingdom. You niggas aren't even fit to come out on the highways and hedges. You got jakes that you ask them, well, who's in charge? Who's destroying the earth? They don't even want to say it. They'll look around. They'll whisper, yeah, the white man. The white man. They can't even say it, man. You know this man's the devil. You can't even verbalize it because you're that terrified that an Edomite might hear you. Man, these people are beneath us, man. All heathen are beneath the Israelites, period. That's all throughout the scriptures, and it's plain to see. In your day-to-day, you can see these people, they don't wash their hands when they use the bathroom. They don't think about righteousness. They're obsessed with sodomy and all sorts of perversion. These people aren't fit to be in charge of anything, including themselves. So why would you want to work for them?
Yeah.
It's madness. Yeah, that's all I had. Your brothers have something else?
Nah, I wouldn't know anything.
All right, so I brought this out. A point has been made. All of you jakes that worship Esau, you're about to die. All right, Yahushua is going to kill you. And, he might use a chariot to do it. He might use brothers. He might use World War III, famine, pestilence. There's a million ways for you coons to die. And, if you're in the spirit of being on the fence, you come to the truth. You're like, I don't know about those Israelites. I kind of agree with some of what they're saying, but they go too far. We don't go far enough, man. When you read what's about to happen to the earth, we're very very calm, very plain, what do you call it, mild mannered. All right, the judgment of the Lord is going to be way harsher than anything we say in the video. So get your mind right, Jake, or else die. So I brought this out. This was edifying to the elect. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakadash.
Rakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.